think as everyone is aware, we were selected as a community just about a year ago to receive a $34 million HEAL grant. This HEAL grant is allowing us to construct some additional facilities for this community, another 168-bed nursing home, as well as a 120-bed assisted living facility here in Watertown, and also a 60-bed assisted living facility in Carthage. We were very, very excited to be the recipients of this award because this project probably wouldn't go forward without that. Assisted living is very, very difficult to build in the state of New York and needs that infusion of capital to really be successful. When we originally started that project, we thought we were going to site this on land that we owned. We have 8 acres that are located on Outer Washington Street that are right adjacent to the Samaritan Family Health Network Plaza location. We really began to scope it out and realized we wanted a more campus-like environment, which is why we moved forward with trying to acquire land both from the Watertown City School District and the City of Watertown. We were going to get another 30 acres between those two entities, and we really began to move forward with the planning process in earnest much earlier this year. Only to discover in the spring, once the snow melted and we started to do the environmental assessment and all of that, that we had wetlands. About 2.5 acres were identified on the middle of the parcel, just about where this beautiful facility was going to be built. And we started to try to identify and understand what that was going to do and the implications of those wetlands to this project. The first thing we recognized is that we'd have to determine if it was even jurisdictional according to the group known as the Army Corps of Engineers, because this was a federally designated wetland. Fact of the matter is we don't know today whether it was going to be jurisdictional or not, but we knew it was going to take the Army Corps of Engineers at least 3 or 4 months to even make that determination. And then if it was determined to be jurisdictional, it might take us another year, if not longer, to get their approval to continue to build on this site. This is a project that we had hoped to be in the ground this summer building, and one that we want to have concluded by the end of next year, 2012. So we began to think about alternative locations. And there were 2 or 3 sites that we were looking at. And yes, the middle of last month, we did report out and announce to the public that we had moved sites. And we are moving that, this entire project, the Samaritan Senior Village, just to the south, to the Washington Summit area. And today, I am honored to not only highlight the fact that we are moving this project to Washington Summit, but to acknowledge the generosity of the partners of Washington Summit, Mike Lundy and Dr. Dave Recklin, who are donating this land for this project to be built at this location.
Dr. Recklin and I, over the last few years, have put a lot of time and effort into developing Washington Summit, and Samaritan has been part of that from day one. Samaritan was one of our first tenants, and quite frankly, we could not have had the growth that we've had without Samaritan's participation and support. We watched in the last year, in the last several months especially,
It's a significant project for us, and it really is nice to have the land donated. That allows us to put more amenities and things into the project itself, so we can really make certain that we don't have to cut anything out of the project because of this donation.
We've watched what's happened over the last few months and the last year, knowing that the senior village was going to be built and the difficulties that they were having on their existing site. We had a couple discussions with them about the possibility of moving it to our property, and we just simply didn't want them to go anyplace else. We just thought it was the right thing to do. We knew they were going to be a perfect fit, ideally complementary for everything that we're trying to do up there.